Moreover, at that moment, the male protagonist's rampage also allowed Lilia, who could only watch helplessly, to vent her frustrations. Upon hearing this, the male protagonist finally felt able to relax, but he also found it difficult to understand his impulsiveness at that time. As a demon, how could he not resist saving an angel? Perhaps this is love. At least, from the outcome, it was good. Just when the atmosphere was warm for a second, Lilia unexpectedly performed a mysterious act, demanding that he fulfill his responsibilities as a boy and give a comforting pat on the head to the girl who was crying in front of him. This was accompanied by increasing pressure from her chest and her constant urging. This made it somewhat difficult for the male protagonist to maintain control, so he reluctantly placed his hand on the other person's head, deciding to send him away for now. As a result, this scene was immediately captured by him in a self-directed performance. Yes, you managed to capture evidence of the male protagonist not keeping his promises. This move left the male protagonist completely bewildered. Lilia, on the other hand, uses the photos as leverage, claiming that if he doesn't want them to be made public, he must always protect Lady Tianyin. Of course, her few tears just now were indeed a genuine expression of emotion. This insidious tactic only came to mind when she was close to his chest, but the opportunity was rare, and she couldn't resist the urge. Fortunately, the male protagonist didn't rush to refute her in a flustered manner. Rather, he felt quite emotional about their good relationship. However, Lilia's attempt was bound to backfire. She had nothing to worry about, as if she dared to show the photos to Tianyin, Lilia would also be disliked, which would affect her relationship with Tianyin. Left with no choice, Lilia had to seek other means. Since being forceful wouldn't work, she could only take a softer approach. He plans to treat the experience of touching Lilia's breasts as a reward for saving Tianyin. However, the male protagonist is not foolish enough to fall for the same trap again. 2 days later, Tianyin finally wakes up, and as soon as she opens her eyes, she sees the male protagonist washing up, looking completely at ease as if nothing was strange about the situation. Realizing that she had been sleeping in his bed, she takes a closer look at his damp hair and radiant cheeks, which makes Tianyin panic. After confirming, she discovers that the equipment she was wearing is also missing. Will you feel pain? Without saying a word, she demands that the male protagonist pay the price for the innocence she believes he has taken from her, not giving her a chance to explain. Just when she thinks she is about to lose her life on the spot, Lilia steps in to resolve the misunderstanding. I was rude when I lost my body. I'm late. I'm sorry. Afterwards, Tianyin apologizes to the male protagonist for her earlier recklessness. During their conversation, she learns that after the fight, the male protagonist did not do anything to Zawi. He let him go with a verbal warning, stating it would not happen again. Tianyin feels relieved. However, regarding the reason for the male protagonist's dark transformation, even he does not know, so there is no need to discuss it further. When it comes to why he brought Tianyin to his house, the male protagonist explains that he was just worried that other angel companions might ambush him at home, and it was not because he wanted to get close to her. He also assures her that the drink is absolutely not a sleeping tea. Despite the round of jokes, Tianyin remains troubled by the male protagonist's dark transformation. The scene truly frightened him. He knows that the male protagonist is not good at lying, but he has never heard of such a strange ability, leading him to suspect that the male protagonist's identity must be complicated, possibly even a demon's secret weapon. If that's the case, it would be important intelligence. Tianyin thinks he can use this opportunity to report to the higher-ups, explaining that he approached the male protagonist specifically to investigate this matter. This way, he can shift the blame for the conflict that occurred this time entirely onto the male protagonist. It seems like he is resisting his brother, but in reality, he is just testing the male protagonist's strength. All problems can be easily resolved. Although this thought briefly crossed his mind, Tianyin, who has a strong sense of morality and high favorability, would naturally not repay kindness with malice. The male protagonist is even grateful that Tianyin helped him regain his rationality, so how could he bear to let down this gentleman? At this moment, as the male protagonist prepares to take him home, Tianyin manages to say that he wants to spend the night here. Squinal.